Welcome to the Dude Make Something podcast. I'm your host, Jam Calpin, and I'm here every week. Well, I'm here often. I'm here often to help you stop adulting from killing your creativity and to encourage you to create something to help your mental health. What's going on, guys? What's going on? Hope everybody's staying well, being safe, and living a good life the best as you can. A taste of the good life. I can't do it right. I'm trying to reference Nacho Libre. It's like, you want a taste of the good life. Anyways, so I'm outside again. But in today's episode, I wanted to talk about and the title of the podcast is Dude Make Something, Stop Adulting from Killing Your Creativity. So I want to talk about what does adulting mean and why that is even important and why do we even have to try to stop it, So like, I'm going to look up right now, real time. I'm going to look up adulting, what it means. Let's see if dictionary.com gives us something. Wow. Internet. All right, here we go. Oh, no. All right. Let's go to dictionary.com. Did not help. Let's try Urban Dictionary. You can find some actually really good stuff on urbandictionary.com. A lot of it, is crazy stuff, of course. But hey, if you don't wow, the Urban Dictionary has like a word of the day. I'm not even going to read it because that's just it's not right. It's not right. But okay, let's see what Urban Dictionary says adulting is. All right, adulting. And this is the highest rated one. No, it's not. Well, anyway, it's the one at the top. I'll read like two of them. So the first one says adulting, a verb, to carry out one or more of the duties and responsibilities expected of fully developed individuals, paying off that credit card debt, settling beef without blasting social media, etc. Exclusively used by those who adult less than 50% of the time. Let's see the next one. Adulting, being a responsible adult, used by immature 20-somethings who are proud of themselves for paying a bill. And it gives the example. So tired from adulting, I went to my 8-to-5 job today. Look at me. Oh boy. Anyways, so why did I use it? Adulting. Some of these I agree with. Adulting is just the idea of really trying to be an adult. But I think it goes beyond that too. And why can adulting stop your creativity? Well, a big chunk of it is you're trying to handle all of these responsibilities and you're trying your best to be an adult. I think the most times, I'll say for myself, the times that I felt the most creative and the times that I felt like I was able to be free and like healthy and good and stuff like that, of course, was like when you're a kid or when your responsibilities are very low. Like sometimes I think back to my time in college. Like college, on average, really isn't that hard. It's not. Like there are certain situations and circumstances that college makes it very difficult. But like if you are, I would say like the typical average college student, whether you're going to school and you either took out loans or maybe you got some grants or something like that, you have the opportunity, like you're supposed to, you have the opportunity to really just focus on schoolwork. That's all you're really supposed to do in college. You're just supposed to be there and get a degree. You're supposed to learn something to help you develop a skill so that you can go out and get employed. That's not the case for everybody, but on average, you don't really have that many responsibilities. You just show up and go to class, finish some papers, whatever, and then you get a degree and then you leave. And it's that period of time after you get a degree that, like that one thing said about 20-somethings or whatever, then you start to realize that real life actually requires more of you than you may have expected. And again, that's not the case for everybody. Some people felt like an adult while they were in high school or while they were a child. And so their childhood may have felt robbed from them because everybody has different experiences and things like that. So yeah, I mean, adulting experience, what that means is different for different people, but I'm using a broad stroke to how to define it or explain it. So adulting really is just like the burden and the responsibilities of everyday life that we have to handle as an adult. And how does that stop you? How does that kill your creativity? Excuse me. Well, oftentimes it kills our creativity because we don't have time. We don't have time, we don't have energy, and sometimes we don't even have the resources to be able to do things or feel free enough to do things creatively. And that sucks because I honestly believe that all of us were designed to create things, especially as men. Like, we were designed to create, to produce. And it's more than just money or anything like that. Like, we're supposed to create things where we get ideas, we get dreams, we get visions, and we're supposed to live out those visions. We're supposed to produce those things. We're supposed to go after those things, make those things reality. You're supposed to build those things. But if you're constantly feeling bogged down about adulting and responsibilities and things like that, and point here, I'm not saying to shirk your responsibilities. I'm not saying to Jam is not saying don't handle your business. That's not at all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we can learn how to navigate our life so that adulting doesn't have to stop us. Adulting doesn't have to stop us from creating, doesn't have to stop us or kill our desire to have a vision, to have a dream, to create something, to build something. It doesn't have to do that. And also, adulting doesn't have to have an attack on our mental health. Like, we need to be mentally well. We need to be healthy overall in all areas and aspects and avenues of our life. And mental health is a big part. And I would say a big part for Black men in general. I did a talk about this on one of my other channels. I'll put a link somewhere. If you have the time or interest, go watch that. And it talks about how I believe mental health is the blight of the Black man. And, it has a huge impact on our community. But in regards to this adulting, it's really a lot of times the mundane things that's expected of us. Things that we do have to do. Sometimes some things you don't have to do. But it's really the necessary things of life, the mundane things that can eat away at our time, resources, and energy to be creative and to be mentally well. And so that's why it's important to create. It's important to be healthy. It's important to engage this life that we're living, so that we can stop adulting from killing our creativity, so that we can be who we're supposed to be who God wants us to be, for His glory and for the good of other people. It's so important that we do that. And so identifying that, adulting, it's just sometimes it can just be the boring things of life that we have to do. And boring stuff can just drain you, if you're sitting going back to college or university as a reference, if you're sitting in a class that you don't like and you leave that class, that whole hour or however long you've been, it could just feel so draining, I worked a job that I recently got rid of because it really didn't pay well, but also I wasn't interested in it. And this shift that I was working, okay, to give comparison and context, I worked at a radio station, after college, I worked at a radio station, and I, during the holidays, you're able to pick up extra time, extra shifts and stuff. So I think it was Thanksgiving. It might've been Thanksgiving or Christmas. It was one of those holidays. But at that time, I didn't really have any family in the area. And for me, I needed money. So I was going to take the double or whatever. And so I worked there. The shifts were 6-hour shifts. So I feel like I did 2 shifts, but honestly, I feel like I did 3. Either way, I was there for 12 plus hours at this radio station. And really all you do is sit there and make sure nothing crazy happens. That the radio is still playing, the shows are still playing, that there's audio, that, nothing weird is happening. That's it. And, sometimes people may call in or whatever, and they have some questions. You answer the phone. But I was there. The point was I was there for 12 plus hours, and it was fine. It was fine. At this job that I recently, I've heard people say recently that they don't quit their jobs, they fire their jobs. I think I fired this job because it wasn't beneficial for me. And that's a whole other story. But anyways, this job that I left, that I fired, I was there, I think, just for 4 hours, and it felt like forever. I felt so drained after that job. And it's weird because you would think some jobs, if you're doing a lot, the time's going to go by fast. I was doing a lot and still felt like I was there forever. Like, it was like constantly, it was busy. And it was like, it's not ending. It's not ending. It's boring. It's not ending. I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm not getting paid well. And it just felt like forever. And like after I left, I was like, I feel so tired. I feel so drained. And again, I make that comparison to the radio station job that I did. I was there for 12 hours. 12 hours. Did not, like, after the shift, it was like, all right, great. I'm good. Let's go. I got other stuff to do. This one, I was like, yeah, I don't want to do anything. 4 hours. I don't want to do anything. Just leave me alone. It's not, nope. And the reason I'm saying that is, like, adulting can do that to you. Adulting can do that to you. Having to make phone calls and deal with all the other pressures and stuff that is necessary. Again, necessary points of life. But like, if we don't play our cards right, if we don't position ourselves well, we'll let adulting kill our creativity, kill our dreams, and kill us. But it doesn't have to happen, you know? And the main way I think we can combat that is by doing something, like creating something. So dude, go make something, you know? Like, find 15 minutes. And I talked about that in another podcast. Find a little bit of time to create something. To keep your fire alive, you know? Because yeah, if you only just work and do this and do that and all these mundane tasks, but you don't make any space to have a vision or have a dream or anything like that, you're just letting the amazing parts of you die and like fall apart and wither away. You know, it's like atrophy almost. You know, if you've, you know what happens when somebody gets like a cast or something like that, while the bone is healing, the muscle is getting weak though, because it's not doing anything. You're not using that arm for anything. And so afterwards, you know, somebody can have a cast on their left arm or whatever, get the cast off, the left arm is smaller than the right arm, you know, because atrophy wasn't being used. And the same thing can happen to us with our mental health, with our emotional health, with our creativity, with our dreams, with our visions, with all the things that, you know, God put in us to do as men. If we're not taking the time to facilitate that, to work that out, to exercise those things, it will atrophy and we won't be healthy and we won't be in our peak positive, great positions, positions to like help others or to live out the life that God wants us to live. That's no good. That's definitely not good. And I know for me, that's happened. Like even within my marriage and my relationship with my wife, like there have been so many times that she can tell, like, you're not you right now because you're not creating. You're not doing the things that God placing you to do. And again, creativity, I've talked about that before. Creativity looks different for different people, but actually making the time to facilitate that and to make sure that you are good in your mental mind. Like all of that is important. And adulting doesn't have to stop that. Like sometimes you gotta be like, all right, I gotta get off of work. I can't do this. I need a day off. Like I know recently in corporate America, they've made like taking a mental day or a mental health day a thing. That's good. We need that. We need that. We need a day to be able to unplug. We need a day to make sure that we're okay. And, you know, adulting could stress us out so much. They're like, I got to do this. I got to do this. I got to do that. I understand. You know, I get like that too. But if I want to be good for myself for the long run, and if I want to be good for my wife, if I want to be good for my friends and my family, I got to make sure I prioritize that somewhere in my life. Something. Find some time. And like I said, it can be a minimum of 15 minutes. Just journaling. You know, just journaling. And dumping your thoughts and your feelings out and expressing yourself. That's creative. Or recording a vlog or a podcast, whatever. Like drawing, doodling, it doesn't matter. There's so many different things that you can do. But using your creative energy and your creative muscle to produce something, to make something, will help you in the long run. And so I would definitely, you know, encourage, again, anybody, any of us, go create something. Find some time to make something, create something, because it's good for you. And don't let adulting, don't let those mundane things, those mundane responsibilities stop you from doing that. Find some time to create. All right, that was this episode of Do Make Something. the Do Make Something podcast. Thanks for listening to the show. For those checking out the podcast on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. And for those listening on your favorite podcasting app, please rate and review. I think it's on Apple Podcasts, 5 stars in a review. Really, really appreciate it. And if you like the show, let me know. YouTube, leave a comment, let me know. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever. And share it with somebody. Share it with somebody if you feel like it's going to be beneficial or helpful to them. Thanks again for tuning in. Until the next episode, find some time to go make something. It's good for you and for those who matter to you. Until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.